Smart clothes are clothes that support personal management of one's health through what they are wearing. Smart clothes are a type of clothing that also acts as a technological device with embedded computer chips that can perform special features. However, as you can see in this photo, they are also designed to be rather fashionable. This differs from the previous example because this type of smart clothing is less fashionable. However, it can be worn easily and unnoticeably under the clothing. It is known as the Spinovo apparatus. It is used to ease back pain through heating, cooling, and nerve stimulation. So how does this affect the patient? Smart clothes are very useful for dealing with patients due to their ability to measure vital signs and keep track of patients' needs. This makes things easier for the patients because smart clothes make a nurse's job easier. Smart clothes may not directly make situations easier for the patients, but by smart clothing making a nurse's job easier, indirectly, patients have a stronger sense of security and do not have to rely on the nurse as much. Smart clothes are also helping with studies to make care for patients better. So how does this affect the nurse? Intelligent biomedical clothing is very rewarding for the patient. However, one has to consider the effects it has on the healthcare providers, for example, the nurses. They need to examine whether or not putting this much responsibility on the patient is a risk or a gain. To do this, one must consider the pros and the cons. Pros vary from opening up availability in the office, providing nurses and doctors more time, and saving on expenses. The smart clothes goal is to instill independence in the patients and give them the ability to manage their health and the pleasure of their own home. Doing this provides the hospital with more space for people with more urgent needs, though some say this might be a stumbling block in the area of patient/nurse relationship, others think it will strongly improve it. Smart clothes can also help patients by keeping them away from the hospital. Smart clothes are still a work in progress, but many studies believe that one day they will be mainstream and can do all kinds of things, from interaction with the person's house to measuring their health. The evolution of smart clothes will one day keep track of everyone's vital signs and health conditions. This will directly help patients because then they will know what is causing them illness or pain and can just figure out what is wrong themselves and not have to worry about hospitals. This makes patients more independent and more aware of their health. Also, if someone has a condition such as diabetes, instead of having to visit the doctor, the smart clothes can track their blood sugar for them, which saves them a trip to the doctor's office and the bill that comes along with it. Smart clothes are not quite this mainstream yet, but in the near future they could be making life for patients much easier without having to constantly visit the hospital. Smart clothes are a phenomenon that could potentially change the lives of millions of patients and healthcare providers. Years of research have come together to form a combination of an everyday necessity and an opportunity for humans to become independent of hospital visits and monitor their health status at home. This advance is something that could give patients, no matter the age, the ability to understand their body and the health it requires, making the job of the nurse or doctor much simpler.